on Godwinson's British Gaytor. Our research on the subject begins days after the Great Awakening of Lord Ppp is narrated in Chapter 7 Verse 1 of the Secret Doctrine of Esoteric Ppism. In the now stream of the Dead Sea Scrolls, Godwinson and another two British entities parley with Lord Ppp.
A preacher or like pastor or anything? Like how does your I mean this seriously, like how does your congregation feel about the fact that you like showed your arsehole? So like showing your arsehole on camera on
doesn't
HM.
bump to your congregation, does it? And I think you don't care about the elderly because they're going to be dead in a few years. It's just frankly more.
Like I'm not trying to shit on it. Like I think it's hilarious personally. I think it was a good art, but like I just don't think I could theologically justify it.
Yeah, I don't think you should also talk for your right to show your asshole on streaming.
Like I don't think
that's hey, that's okay.
I just look forward to watching it. Like you and Jesus having a chat about you showing your asshole on camera.
Hey, I wish
to own the boomers, right?
Yeah.
Like what's next? Like showing your grotesque body horror tits to own the libs, right? Like that's the next step.
Exactly. So I can see why people would take issue with that.
Oh, to be sure, I don't think it's a problem for anyone online. I was just wondering. Well, indeed, King Harold asked if it was an issue for your congregation and how it sort of reflects on them. Although a question from the chat is, what was the motivation behind doing such an act in the first place?
Well,
so as a twofer, you're promising you're giving the audience, essentially, and also communicating your ideas through it, because you will therefore believe all publicity is good publicity. Then I'm sure.
Exactly.
How can you not?
Exactly.
What do you think about, this is a theological question of course, but what do you think about John Wesley? Kind of like founder of evangelicalism in all of America, or Methodism, I should say.
Himself, he asked if you think the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King would also spread his arse cheeks if his life depended on it. Maybe in his last moment.
While Godwinson is non-aggressive, the other two in exoteric ignorance try to question Lord Ppp about the normie connotations of his Kensho Satori moment of awakening. Here in the stream of the Dead Sea Scrolls, one of the British Gators tries to lead Lord Ppp into the Atom conspiracy.
Yeah, handsome reptile.
Well, not you make your weenie tingle?
Well, listen, I've on good authority that he really likes massive man tits. He really likes them.
Enter the figure known as Krieg's Kaiserotin Beowulf von Valhalla. From now on will be referred as KOBVW or Godwinson's British Gator. Link to the false prophecy of esoteric Jahanism.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Brit Wignat and another abominations. British Gator did the ultimate infamy by trying to call Lord Ppp a homo. Absolute heresy. Before continuing, the most sophisticated purveyors of esoteric delicacies might ask ourselves, wait a minute, why esoteric Jahanism is haram? Is esoteric Jahanism a false prophecy? There will be complete verses in Chapter 2 of the Secret Doctrine of Esoteric Ppism exposing the great deception of esoteric Jahanism. DLDR, mainly was a Godwinson and British Illuminati attempt to co-opt the second coming of Lord Ppp. Another point to be made is that this entity was baptized as Godwinson by Alexander Gordon Johannes, the false pope, the Cook Pope, the Black Pope of esoteric Ppism. Its full name is Black Cat and Godwinson of the Multiverse. And according to Jahanism, its first materialization was that of a cloud. Please keep this in mind for future events. The revelations to come in those verses might create a schism between Orthodox esoteric Ppists and Reformed esoteric Ppists. We can live with the burden. Back to British Gator. He tried to clean it up by saving Godwinson's face, or by Janny jealousy, to trick and mock Lord Ppp and committing heresy. He will never be forgiven of this cardinal abomination and shall be expunged ad infinitum from the land of Kino and Nectar. His only redeeming qualities are a channel now deserted with some exquisite esoteric Kino. He is the owner of the best intro I ever seen. From his back catalog we can see the video called Adam Reptilson Donovi. This was our first lead on the nature of the Deus Ex Machina that is Adam Godwinson. Here are some examples.
sort of felt the temperature of the room drop, and as his eyes, sort of his pupils retracted to slits for just a brief second. I swear to God, man, it was scary. Adam pleaded to go with him, and so finally, I agreed, and we got to his room, and at that point I received a telephone call from one of my colleagues, and when Adam saw this, he quickly excused himself and disappeared into the bathroom, leaving the door open. So I assumed he was washing his hands, but when I hung up the phone, I heard the shower going in the bathroom. I said, what the fuck? Are you taking a shower? And then, get this, Adam actually came out with an erect member. So I asked, what do you think you're doing? And Adam demanded that I lie in the bed and told that many other men had done so before me. Like at this point I was petrified, like I was terrified. It's hard even just talk about it, it's been so many years ago, but I didn't want to show him I was terrified at the time, of course, I wanted to stay strong, because I could feel that the more I was freaking out, that the more he got excited.
Clearly a victim of sexual molestation by a shape-shifting entity, British Gaytor narrates the events and consequences of IRL meetings. A must-watch for every esoteric Pppist. Even though KOBVW, either intentionally or not, are on the final form of the creature Godwinson, he did point towards the conspiracy. But he has given us a point to explore with the reptile angle and should not be discarded completely. According to the fake docs made on Godwinson few years ago, there was one point that is actually accurate. He does belong to the British aristocracy, the material body this entity possesses of royal lineage. So our first lead was that Adam Godwinson is a reptile. We have concluded that as well with the Black Pope that is Alexander Gordon Johannes, the reptile hypothesis is just a deflection from the real matter going on. Either Godwinson and British Gaytor touch tweeners just like their American obese counterparts, or Adam Godwinson is not a human but neither a reptilian, and is in reality something else, something darker and more plausible. A message to as Krieg's Kaiser wrote in Beowulf von Valhalla. Although righteous as the pink starfish, Lord PPP is merciful. You might be inducted as martyr in esoteric Pppism if you repent of your heresy and your ways and declare Lord PPP as absolute master of Kino and Nectar. It is not too late for you. A message to everyone else. If you think this is nothing, wait, since this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you knew how bad things really are,